Mentone, Alabama, and I do a YouTube channel, and thank you for this wonderful, I forgot to bring all the way from Mentone, Alabama. You gave me the perfect gift today. And so anyway, soapy supplies, right? Soapy supplies. So anyway, so today we're going to do some hot process soap, and we're going to talk about coloring soaps with natural ingredients or not natural ingredients so much as spices and roots, and the handouts are here. There you go. So the first thing I wanted to hand out for you is a copy of a couple of hot process recipes, and also coloring homemade soap with natural colorants and some recipes. One of each for everybody. And I use things like activated charcoal that's food grade, that's not necessarily edible, and things of that sort also. Turmeric spices, annatto seed, aconite root, things of that sort. And so we're going to pass around while I'm working some soaps. Oh, they got you to passing those out. I thought Dawn was going to pass those out. Would somebody else help them there? Alrighty. And thank you. If everybody, you can pick them up, smell them, touch them, just keep the mess inside the container and have your fun with them, and you don't have to hurry. Just move those around at your own speed. I'll let you get this table going. Now, each one of these soaps, except for those little chunks that you can tell is not quite a soap. I'll set this one here, and y'all have your way with it. All right. Each one of those, I've done something sort of different. If you'll look on your recipe, everybody, you will find that I have base oil recipes, and then I have a super fat recipe. And so it's two recipes in one. You can use any of the base recipes, but you always put the super fat recipe with it at the end. And we've always heard the statement, the lye takes whatever it wants. Well, when I first started making hot process soap, I thought to myself, once I discovered that there was 5% of whatever I put in the crock pot floating around in there, and that's what I was moisturizing my skin with, and I was using lard, I thought, well, maybe I don't want to use lard. Do I want to moisturize my skin with pig fat? And I thought about that for a while, and it just didn't sit straight. So I thought, okay, everybody, let's see what else we can do. But then I found out that lard makes really great soap, and I understand that there's a lot of people who don't want to use animal products, and that's awesome. But lard really makes great soap. It makes hard soap. It makes bubbly soap. Well, it doesn't make bubbly soap. It makes hard soap. It makes awesome feeling soap. And then there's coconut oil. And I liked coconut oil. I didn't think, well, that's not too bad. I wouldn't mind moisturizing my skin with coconut oil. And then I've really loved soybean oil. Every time I poked soybean oil in the soap cow, I just loved what it did to the soap, and I would think, let me take that out and put something exotic in there. So I put almond oil in there. I didn't like the stats. But when I kept soybean oil, I really liked it. But then I thought, but I need something fun in there too, to moisturize my skin. So I thought, well, why don't I put it in at the end? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk just a little bit about making hot process soap where you have some form of control over your super fats. So we're going to take our base oils, which is these things up here, and I know that Palmas olive oil doesn't always 100% supply, so we're still going to have a little bit of this floating around in there. But what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about taking, let's say, 3 base oils and our super fats. Let's just take this shea butter and poke it there, and poke some cocoa butter on it with some glycerin and vitamin E. And let's take just enough lye. Let's say this is 95%, and most of these are 10% or whatnot, but let's say this is 95% of our soap oil that would go in our pot, for our crock pot. This is 95%. Well, I'm going to just put 95 enough to turn 95% of my oil into soap, and I'm going to cook it for 2 hours. So I know we're going to have some olive oil if we use pomace that didn't completely saponify, but basically by the time I get to the point that I'm putting my super fats in, which is our 5%, our lye is pretty much dead. You can take that soap right then out of the pot and wash your hands with it. You won't get burnt. Well, unless you don't let it cool off first. Okay, and so once this right here is cooked for 2 hours, then we're going to come back and put 5% of the fun stuff in there along with some spices. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So that we're going to have just a little bit more control over our super fats, so that, let's say, our palm oil is not what's moisturizing the skin, but our unrefined organic shea butter. And with hot processed soap, the lye is pretty much dead when you're putting these things in there. So I think it sort of keeps them in a little bit more of a natural state. They're not sort of digested slightly by the lye on the curing rack for a while. I know I've had some cold processed soap that turned really funny colors because the lye was still, active on the shelf. So let's get this out of the way. And I make a really cute checkerboard. And this is an example of it. We're going to cut it. And when you look at this, it's blue here, but it's white underneath. And it's white here, and it's blue under here. And we're going to cut this in a minute. But we're going to make one. Hand me one of the top crock pots. It'll be slightly warm. I mean, 2 of them will be slightly warm. Need 2 of them. All right, now what I've done here is these are that, I did 10%, but this is our 10% super fat. And if you look at the aconite root that is in our spice bins moving around, I have put a teaspoon of that aconite directly in there. I didn't have to do anything to it ahead of time. I just put it in there. And then this one is just the super fat, so it's really 5% each because we've got 2 crock pots. And we're going to put us some soap in here. I'm dangerous. You better watch out. You're sitting close to a soaper here. Oh, and by the way, this is a turkey cooker. And if you ever try this, you always heard this say, don't try this at home. If you ever try this at home, don't put it over 150 degrees unless your turkey cooker base is a crock. But if you have the metal one, if you put it over 150 degrees, it will actually burn your soap and you'll have brown funky things in your soap. But if you can put it up to 300 to melt your oils, turn it off, let it cool. When you put your lye and water in there, put it on 150 and don't, just stir it well. Keep it off the edges, blend it around because you don't have that nice, thickness of this to slowly perk things. Stir it well and it works great. All right, so we'll make this one no color. And the recipe that is being done today is the recipe is listed to there, and it lets you know which one. And then the other ones, doing some Essential Depot videos, I created some recipes using Essential Depot products only. And you'll see those listed off. So since we had Essential Depot today, I thought that was a great place to put it. Y'all can look at their products and look at the recipe and see if it's something you might want to give a whirl. All right, now on the checkerboard, I first came up with it and I went to Lowe's, and this right here, when you put aconite root in your crock pot, it looks like blueberry cobbler. It's sort of plum looking when you first do it, and then it just slowly turns blue. And that's a good time to do those. Take those right there and pass one block out at a time per table. So now the way I do it is I cook the soap for 2 hours, and then that is, after I cook it for 2 hours, then I put in my colorant, my glycerin, my vitamin E, and my superfats, or my 5 or 10 or 15%, whatever you want to do. And then I let it cook for another 30 minutes. Then I cool it to 160, and then I put in my essential oil. I don't use fragrance much, so I do 160 degrees, and I have found that the only essential oil that will not work at 160 degrees is grapefruit, and I don't like it anyway. So, grapefruit don't like me, so I don't like it either. And if I try to get down to 115 or 20, whatever it is it wants, we've already got soap. There's no blending going on after that. So now what I did is I went to Lowe's, and this is Sign It in the sign department, and it's, well, I can't pass it around afterwards because it's going to be really nasty, but here. Okay, they're pink and they're green. They sell them at Lowe's where you buy the signs, like those corrugated plastic stuff. And so what I did is I made me a divider. And it still takes a little bit of artwork. And during this time that I'm doing this, I'd like for y'all, if y'all would, to just get up and just start, because we don't have this going. So just get up, everybody, as I'm going. Take a peek, if you would like, of course. I won't make you get up. Okay. All right, so get up and walk around a little bit, and you can look at what I'm doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 spoonful, small spoonful on that side, and then I'm going to put 1 spoonful on this side, and then I can sort of regulate where it's at. I can move it back and forth and get it centered. And y'all just walk right in front of me. It's okay, just watch the camera. And y'all can just poke your head in for a few seconds, see what I'm doing. It's only fair, because our little doohickey's broke. And so see, I'm going to just position it with my hand. And I didn't put any essential oils in here because I'm, time conscious today. So we're going all unscented. And we're just going to sit, and this is to start. We're just going to, and I gave y'all this recipe. This is the recipe done today, so y'all can try this at home, guys. And you saw me put the super fats here, so y'all know how I did it. Okay. All right, and now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this, and everybody just get up and come look. It's fun. And we're just going to sort of position it around a little bit, flatten it out a little bit. You can get real artsy with it. I have sell sort of a rustic, type soap. And so for me, my customers sort of expect things to be a touchy ratty. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to just spread it out like that. And then you can clean the sides if you want to, but you want to get that out of most of that out of your pot. Alright, and then you can take one of these things and you can try to measure it, and get it exactly, straight. Or you can just be artsy with it and let it be all rustic and imperfect. Alright, so now we're going to go and we're going to put the clear soap on top of the blue soap. So now we're going to get our checkerboard. We've only filled it up halfway. Come on through. Oh, y'all passed all those around? Okay. And all those spices have already been passed around?
Yeah, the bars, we're waiting on these.
Okay. All right, move out from in front of the camera. And sometimes you'll end up with a little blue, but as I said, this soap is safe to touch. We can smear this all over our bodies and nothing's going to happen to us. It's not going to hurt us in any way. So you can just pick out if you make a little mistake. You don't have to wear gloves. All of your equipment is safe to just poke your hands right in the sink with some hot water and some Dawn dish detergent or homemade detergent. You don't have to worry about being burnt. The only time hot process soap is scary is just when you're mixing and handling your lye. And of course you should wear your gloves and your eye protection. long sleeves if you think that's best, long pants, please wear shoes for anybody out there that's just starting to sew. You know, you're going to drop that right on your toe, be limping with a little spot or itching it for a week. So now we're going to take it and do this, and of course today I ended up with it smaller, a less soap on the one side than on the other because I didn't start 2 recipes from scratch in my crock pot, so I'm lopsided. Now everybody look, we're just going to pull it up. See how I told you we're going to be messy. Whoop, wrong one. And then we just take it and we're going to pat it, stuff it back together. We'll see if we can get that where you can see it. All right, now I'm going to take a fork and I'm just going to take and do a decorative top, and you can blend the two together. And of course, you can see how pretty I did that one when I'm not hurrying, and that gave us a cute little top. And now if you would take that away, just sit it over there anywhere, and take that away. All right. We will take this one and let's see what that looks like. Yeah, no, set that one down there. I may end up needing it. Well, actually, go put it back in on top of one of the crock pots and get it warm, and the other one, get it away from the crock pots. Okay, the blue one. All right. Now, see this marbling effect? The blocks that I sent around, I did not cook that for 30 minutes. I did this big thing of soap. I just poked some in bowls, put the super fats and the spices in it, and stuck it straight in there so that y'all would just have an example. So I call this sort of like, it makes me think of that song, Baby in Her Blue Jeans or something. What's that song?
Baby's got her blue jeans on.
That's it. Sing it.
I don't know it.
What's the name of it louder so they can hear it?
I have no clue.
All right. Well, Baby's got her blue jeans on or something. This makes me think sort of a blue jean, type texture. But now, if you look at the Akinet one, where is that one at? Hand me that one. If you look at this, now this is with a tablespoon in a double batch, which is like around 70-something ounces of oil. Akinet Roots, you don't need a lot. You'll see how solid this is and non-marbled, and that's where you let it sit for that 30 minutes. If you want to do something like I did with those color blocks, or like I did with this one for fun to show you, then you want to go ahead and cook it to 2.5 hours, poke it in, just make sure that your shea butter or whatever that might be not completely melted is melted good. Cool to 160, put your essential oils in it, and you'll get this more funky pattern. So, and of course I'm using the Essential Depot molds, and this soap is 3 days old, and all cut. All right. Come on, applause. That's gorgeous. How about it? I'm sorry. This is one of my favorite ones. This is just so pretty to me. Okay, so, yes. Now, I didn't put any scent in these. These are just strictly, and I want because we were just doing it for the demonstration, and I just hate it to give them a butcher block knife. But I want y'all to take some soap home so that y'all can see these colors at home and play with it. So we're going to cut these little boogers. Well, let's leave one more out. It's just so pretty. I think I went sideways. All right, take those away. Everybody pick 2 out of there, and we'll keep going.
Everybody pick 2.
The soup. Oh. second.
Two more?
The one the one that we've already used, and a new one. Okay, everybody. In a wide mold, I call this the Super Z, and in a skinnier mold, I call it the Superman. Okay, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. And it's really quite fun, I think, the Superman. It's one of my picks. I don't need that. Get out of my way. All right, get me another one.
Got you this really warm.
Remember, I'm dangerous with this soap stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
When it comes out with the front one, we try to have an extra that makes it creamy.
That's neat. I was told.
Those are the things, but I'm going to special order for 50 bars that I break it from the yes.
Okay, so in this one, I am using annatto seeds, and you can purchase those online, but I have a highly Mexican populated area that I live in, and so in my Walmarts, there's always those wonderful Mexican food aisles. If y'all have those, you know, the spice rack section where everything's hanging in little baggies. I love those sections. I get my accent all out for the, okay. So anyway, so then you pull off your annatto seed, and they get the ground ones. If you buy the whole seeds, you will regret it till the day that you forgot that you did it once. Because it is absolutely horrible. You'll get in there with your grinder or your food processor, and you just grind until you finally just go to bed and say, well, it doesn't matter. I don't want to do that anyway. So you want to make sure that you get your annatto seeds pre-ground. And this is my super fats, and with my annatto seeds, and with annatto seeds you can use more. And I have like 2 tablespoons or maybe 3 in here. 3 tablespoons. I like it dark and orange. And so now we're doing the Superman or the Super Z. And on the other one, of course, it's fun to do with 2 colors too. And the checkerboard is fun to do with 2 colors. You could do it with any 2 colors you like. And this one you can, but I just really like with the Superman, the red chest, and I do it with another color, but I like the white because that's his, that's his S on his shirt. So, and this is another example with cinnamon and no color of the Superman. Okay. Did we pass all the color blocks out?
Yep.
All right. Did y'all give them paper towels?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, take those paper towels out. Those soaps are fresh, and so they've got to cure for 4 to 5 days, whatever you want to do, and they're going to be traveling, so they'll be abused. They're soft. They're soft right now, just cut. I cut them just a couple hours ago. And so just let those air dry and cure for a few days before you use them. But everybody take your paper towel so you can roll them up. How many did we have left?
I don't know if she's surprised them out.
All right. Any 2 you want, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so now this is a 4-layer, and it is true that we need a hot process soap recipe that will be fluid, and that sometimes is harder with your non-animal recipes. So if you're not opposed to animal products in your soaps, try that first recipe out the first time you give this one a whirl, because it's very fluid and you're just maybe possibly learning to do this particular thing, and so you need more time, and you don't need something that's going to get harder on you fast. Remember, 160 degrees then you can put in your fragrance or your essential oil and then start your molding. So with this one, I'm going to take and put a small layer on the bottom, and that's our platform for our S. Alright, and then we're going to take and put a thin layer of our red, and you'll see on that soap that I did, because it didn't perk in there for 30 minutes in my crock pot, you'll see where you see something that didn't get blended good, because I just took it in there and stirred it and poked it in there, so you'll see a few little crystals of the annatto seed that didn't blend. And that's what happens when you don't give it that 30 minutes perking time with the spices directly in your soap when it's cooking. But I really loved the way that came out with that marbleized look. That was fun. So you can learn the different ones. All right, so now we've done another layer of red. Now we're going to do a layer of white, and no alcohol is required for this to get your layers to stick. Just in case anybody was thinking that, it's not needed.
But alcohol might make it more fun.
I got some blue from the other soap in there. All right, and now we're going to put our final layer of red on the top. I think I actually counted pretty good this time, and you don't have to make it this deep. You can make a shallower soap, but when you have that nice side, has any of y'all ever told your customers, just cut that bar in half and take half of it and put it in the shower and the other half just leave it dry? You've never done that? Well, whenever I have a customer that says, well, how long will it last? I said, well, it depends on if you take good care of it. I said, if you're going to pay $1.25 at Walmart, who cares if you put it in a puddle of water? But if we're going to pay $5 to $10 for a bar of soap, we want it to last as long as possible. So I tell folks, cut that bar of soap in half, take one half in the shower with you now, and then take the other half, put it on the shelf, and when you get ready for the other half, it's never gotten wet. So it's not been getting wet and getting dry, getting wet and getting dry, so it's going to last longer. Well, I like with the Essential Depot bowls, see, the only thing with that is that makes a little tiny bar when you cut that one in half. But when you cut the Essential Depot mold in half, you still got a whole little hunk of soap. And it's long. It's just right the size for the hand. So that's one of the reasons I thought that was even more productive with that one. Okay, so now we're going to pat it. Oh, you're not who I'm supposed to hand that to. Everybody stand up that wants to see this. And come on up here. I'll need that white one again.
See, Carol Lee, you shouldn't stand there.
Good job, Carol. You do it so good, girl. Come on up, everybody that wants to see this technique. This is the one time. Thank you. This is our deal. Okay, everybody come up and just move to where that camera can still see. Yeah, we'll go this way. There you go. All right. So this technique is you do it one time and you don't touch it. You just want to go do it again. You want to go, but you can't. If you do it over and over, then you get what I call the clouds of joy. I know. Where's the clouds of joy? Is there another tub with my spices in it? Yes, there is. It's somewhere else. Well, if you keep dipping and spinning, you get the what I call the clouds of joy. But if you'll just do it one time, you get the Superman, or the Super X, or Super Z if you're doing a wide mold. So what you do is you want to get as close as you can to the mold. You want to go down. Now I'm spinning this so that when it comes out, it's coming out with the spoon sticking up. And then I'm going right down beside where it was, where it came out.
It's like you're twirling it.
I'm twirl as I go, and of course it sit and got warm while I was getting everybody to come up here and whatnot, so it's a little bit, harder to deal with. But and see, it got stuck on me. There you go. I know. It's so much prettier. There you go. And that is your Super S, and you don't touch it. You don't pick it up and jump it. You know, knock. You don't do nothing. You have to you take it like this because you don't want to mess up that little S, and you want to keep your little ribbon shape. So you know you can pat it a little, but then you go and you put your plastic on it and you just ease it over to the shelf and sit it down. Okay? All right. That is our Super C or Superman. All right, now.
Will this go up on the YouTube? Will it go up on your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, for our YouTubers. Okay, now, I want to talk to you because we got 15 minutes left, and I want to have a little cleanup time. So I want to talk to you about this next one that we were going to do. Oh, I don't know. No, okay. All right, I'll be good. Okay. All right, so this is activated charcoal with turmeric. Turmeric here is what you color, and with turmeric, if you saw some of the examples in the soaps, do I ever find the other pot that has the other basin? Oh, here it is. If you keep swirling, you get the clouds of joy.
Well, that's probably nice too.
Looks like a rose.
It's very nice.
And you'll get all kinds of shapes and designs, and what you do is if you do it just one time, Superman's coming tomorrow when you do it. But if you don't, if you just sit and do that, and you dip, and you dip, and you dip, and dip, and then turn it around. Dip it again, or just leave it like that, because if you turn it around, you'll get just a little bit different one than if you leave it like that. And then you just do it again, and you can do it 2 or 3 times, things like that. So that is the clouds of joy, I call it.
We like it.
All right, put that one on. Put that one back where it goes. Is there anything else that's supposed to be passed out? All right, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to put our super fats in a single pot, so you don't have to divide the soap, and we're going to bring it up to this level here. 3/4 of the mold needs to be full. Then we will take our activated charcoal and we will cover it with a layer of activated charcoal, or you can use aconite root, natto seeds, turmeric, but with this particular one I have done activated charcoal. And activated charcoal is good for you. You know, it's great for skin and different things. But the problem of it is if you color soap just with activated charcoal, you get a black lather. And some people don't want a black lather. But if you want to add the spice of life to the soap and put a little activated charcoal in there, you say, my soap has activated charcoal. But you don't want to have your customers fuss at you about black lather in the shower and black streaks, you know, down the walls. Then when you do this, you only get a little bit of black the first time that you get it wet, because you'll have a little excess on the edges. And I actually take and brush mine with a blush puff brush, and I brush off the excess. And then once it cures, what's on the outside, and it won't come off until you get it wet. And when you get it wet, then you end up with black lather just that first time you get it wet. And so that way you can add a little bit of activated charcoal for any kind of health reason that you might want to. Plus it's pretty and you don't get black lather. So you want to get a really good healthy layer of activated charcoal on there. Then you put the other layer of that on there, and then, you know, you just do the spins. You can use a fork, like a wide pronged fork is fun, or a spoon. And I particularly like the TEA spoon that I was talking about, because we've got a long handle and it's got a little spoon, so it really works well. And I call it a TEA spoon because when we was kids, that's what we called them at Mama's house, but they're tea stirring spoons. Okay? Yeah. Okay. While we're sort of as we're gathering, because we've just got a few minutes till we're to be done, questions?
Do you only fragrance the other scent when you're using activated charcoal? Because activated charcoal tends to suck it in, like suck the scent up.
I have never had activated charcoal to alter the scents of my soaps in hot process soap. And I will put the scent in there with the, you know, put the color in it, cool it down to 160, put the scent in, and then when I mold it, I do the activated charcoal, and I've never had it to alter. And actually, this soap here is an acne soap that normally it smells like the acne soap. And it smelled just the same before I added the activated charcoal as it did after I added the activated charcoal this way.
Thank you.
Next one.
I have a question. I noticed you pulled some of the dried soap out as you were going.
Mm-hmm.
I get that on top of my stove because I guess I don't work fast enough.
Hand me one of my molds of soaps.
Should I be
Any of them
taking
that I've
off
done?
when I mold
No,
soap like
what
this?
I did was y'all were right up here looking, and I wanted you to see the smoothness of it. And with the Superman, which this is, you can't play with it. You got to do that one dip and come up, one dip and come up, one dip and come up, and then you got to let her go. But with a normal soap, if my pattern will permit, this little crispy, matter of fact, bring me that other one over there. I want to see how crispy it is. No, it's too crispy. All right. Say howdy.